me just give you a little background of this session. We had already photographed for about half an hour, and little Mabel, she's 4, and she said she was done. She took off and said she was going back to the car. So when she announced that, I was thinking it's time for something that gives her back some love and energy that she might have lost when we focused so much on little baby sister. So I suggested, why doesn't she come, just her and mommy, and they sit down and cuddle a little bit. So I want to show you what I do. I call it like a mommy and me breakout session, because this is just a little part of a whole family session. But this is really beautiful to show how you can get kids that are really not that much into it to cooperate again. I don't want to say that this is always working, but in this case it worked beautifully, so I show you what I do. So the first thing is, I just tell them to sit down however she's comfortable, mom, and just cuddle a bit. And I always give them time to just do their thing and really just get a little cozy with each other. So give them some time and just let them be themselves. You will get the vibe from the kids whether they want to do this or not. So in this case, she was not that much into it, but it worked. So I asked her if she could just smile at me once. I usually don't do that, but in this case I wanted one image where they're looking at me, and this was so cute. So I always tell the kids, you want to smile at me and I'll show you the picture, because they really love to see the images on the back of the camera, so that usually works. Tickling is something I always do in all sessions. No session without tickle fights. So they are just sitting there with each other. Really, really beautiful mommy and me moments. A little tickling, a little cuddling. And I go around and shoot the same situation from different angles. So this is another beautiful prompt. I asked mom to tell her son or daughter how it was when they saw each other for the very first time. And this usually gives so beautiful images. In this case, I actually ended up not choosing any of these images for the final gallery, because Mabel got so overwhelmed and shocked. She just sat there and stared at her mom, who told her the story how she was born. She couldn't believe what she heard. So you see, I took a lot of images but didn't end up choosing any. Here she's starting to smile again, so that's very cute. And the mom is just cuddling her a little bit. And it's time for another tickle fight. And she loved that. She got so happy. This is one of my very favorites from this whole session. So now what I'm doing is I ask her whether she can count to 10, and they're usually very proud to tell me that they can. Then I ask them to kiss mom on the cheek 10 times. And that usually brings out really beautiful smiles and laughter from both mom and children.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
So I count down 1, 2, 3, and then she can start kissing mom. So I'm walking around different angles again.
Okay.
From the other side. And what I always love to do with kids is that I ask them whether they can pretend to be tired. Usually the kids are so hyped up, these moments don't necessarily come naturally, so I tell them to to pretend that they're tired, and usually
Mila,
this
say
works
bye.
for some seconds, so you have to be quick with that one.
You smile at me?
And I asked her just like smile at me again. I love these images that are very cozy and calm
see that,
moments,
Vicky,
and mom is very focused on the child, and the child is smiling at me. I love these images. And this sneaky smile, that was just the cutest.
Oh, that
So
was
I asked her, this was so beautiful, and doesn't she want to do the same with dad? And she said no. And that was the end of this whole session. Mabel was done, and we were done.